That yet? I'm a chiropractor. This is my office. And we're going to talk tonight, we call this a doctor's report. And the purpose of the doctor's report is basically to give you some information. The word doctor in Latin means teacher. And the doctor's primary role is to teach patients how to take care of themselves, not how to become dependent on the doctor. And what we want to do tonight is give you a better understanding of why you're here, and if you're not here yet as a patient, maybe why you want to consider what chiropractic has to offer. And also, if you are a patient, how to get the most out of the care. Think of your body like a nice Mercedes you just bought, but you didn't have the time to read the owner's manual, and you've never been in a car before, you just figured it'd be nice to buy a car. Well, that's similar to your body. We've been given this gift of health, and we say, okay, well, now what do we do with it? I mean, you have TV to teach us, but unfortunately TV is kind of directed by certain concerns. You have the media to teach us certain things about our bodies, but then again also there are certain concerns. So many times we don't get the right information about what we're really supposed to do with ourselves. So we have this doctor's report. And the way we start the doctor's report is with a couple of words. Before I even say anything further, I need your help tonight. Okay? I'm not here to lecture for about a half an hour. I need you to communicate with me. So if I ask a question, I really want an answer. I'm not asking any rhetorical questions, okay? Fair enough? Nod your heads, everyone? Yes. Okay, good, thanks. The first word, it's not supposed to be heavy. I mean, we're supposed to have a good time here. Okay? Try to at least. The first word is health. No, we're not even going to talk about health. We're going to talk about symptoms. Now, anybody, what is a symptom? Don't give me a specific symptom, but what is a symptom? What do symptoms do? Courtney?
They point to something else.
Right, they tell you what's going on. It's a sign. A symptom is like a roadmap. It says, this is here now. This is what's going on. So it's a sign. Okay, and what's the most common symptom that you can think of?
Pain.
Pain. Hi, Steve. Pain. Now, this is a very serious question. I'm not being facetious. And I want you to think about it before you answer. When you have pain, what do you want?
No
pain. Relief. Right. How do you spell relief? R what?
R-E-L?
Okay, R-E-L. I thought you said R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Right, it's just
Relief or Rolaids. Everyone's heard that, right? Okay. This word here, relief. Very dangerous word. People go, what's so dangerous about relief? Relief is good. I want to feel good. Relief is dangerous because relief, if you look it up in the dictionary, it's a temporary feeling of wellness. Temporary. This word relief gets more people in hospitals, gets more people operated on, ends up costing people millions of dollars a year, making people become addicted to medication for no reason, because people are seeking relief. Now, I went up to you and said, Linda, you've got, God forbid, you had heart disease. I said, in this hand, I have something that's going to give you relief. In this hand, I have something that's going to fix the cause of your problem. Which one would you take? It's not even a question, is it? I mean, it's ridiculous. Of course, you want to get to the problem and fix it. But when I asked everybody, when you have pain, what does everyone want? And I mean, it's unanimous. Everyone goes, well, I want relief. I want to feel good. And that's the same thing that made everyone think, if they didn't even say it, how do you spell relief? Everyone said, well, Rolaids. Because it's hard to think that way. That's the way our society has kind of steered us to thinking. Not taking care of problems in certain respects, especially with our health, and especially symptoms. And the thing is that symptoms are good. And you won't hear many doctors say that. Many doctors will say, we'll help you get rid of your symptoms. Right? In this office, we don't necessarily want to get rid of the symptoms. We want to get rid of what's causing the symptoms. Does that make sense? I mean, am I talking crazy here, or is that logical? But what happens, though, is that the symptom is one of the only mechanisms in our body to tell us something's not right. It's warning us, something's not right here. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to box it out and shut it off. And I always use the analogy. When I first started coming to New York City, my folks used to say, keep your wallet in your front pocket, and keep your hands in your pocket, and don't wear any jewelry. And so, I go, Ma, I don't have any jewelry. What do you mean, don't wear any jewelry? But the reality of it is, it's like somebody who has a wallet, and they're walking down the street and the wallet falls out of their pocket. So some good Samaritan picks it up and is tapping the person on the shoulder, hey, excuse me, and the person remembers what his mother said, and he's going, don't bother me, and they keep on walking away from the guy who has his wallet, trying to give it back to him. And the person goes, but no, excuse me, I need to talk to you, I got something for you. No, don't bother me, and they walk away from something that was going to help them. That's the same thing with symptoms. What we do is we shut the symptoms off, because the symptoms are telling us something's wrong, and we just keep on going. So tonight, we're going to try to show you why symptoms aren't that bad. We're going to try to show you something even more important. And what's more important is health. Because this office is based and predicated on health, not illness, not disease. There's a big difference. As a matter of fact, the definition of health. Dorland's Medical Dictionary says health is an optimal state of mental, physical, and social well-being. And I kept on saying I'd put an asterisk there, and I finally did a couple of weeks ago. It's not merely the absence of disease and infirmities. So what this is saying is that when you're healthy, it's when your mind, when your body, when your social well-being is all together. Not that you just feel good, or not that you just don't have any symptoms. Webster says it's a condition of wholeness in which all the organs are functioning 100% all of the time. Now, what we want to do here is we want to figure out how can we get our body working 100% of the time. All right? Now, there are different systems in the body. There's the digestive system. There's the reproductive system. There's the circulatory system. It goes on and on and on and on. Question for the moment, and I really want everyone to answer if they would, okay? What is the master system in the body? The main organ?
Central nervous system.
Central nervous system. You've been here before? Right.
Good guess.
A lot of times people say the heart, okay? Well, the heart is a pump. It circulates the blood around, okay? But what we do is we have the central nervous system. And the central nervous system, definition of the central nervous system by Gray's Anatomy, which is a standard anatomical textbook for all healing arts. The purpose of the brain and nervous system, which is the central nervous system, is to control and coordinate the functions of all tissues, organs, and systems in the body. It controls everything. It's the master computer of the body. This gentleman here is in the computer business. Well, he's in many businesses, but does computers. That's how we met. And it's incredible the computer systems they have today. I mean, one little pinky fingernail, how many bytes of information can fit on there? I mean, hundreds of thousands. I mean, it's ridiculous. But what happens now is that they have, good afternoon, have a seat. What happens now is that they have a computer. They did a study at MIT about a year and a half ago. They made a computer model. How big would a computer have to be to do all the systems and functions that a brain does? They found out that it would have to be the size of a football field, 2 stories high. That blows me away. I mean, I thought my computer here is incredible. I got, 16 billion bytes of information in there, 30 meg hard disk, and, I can set up a couple of dictionaries, no problem. That's what our brain does. That's what the nervous system does, all right? So the nervous system controls and coordinates everything. Excuse me 1 second. May I get a spine, please, at subluxation? Immediately, a spine, please?
Yeah.
Great. Now, what protects the nervous system? Where is the nervous system? It's in your head. Good to see you, Howard.
It's gonna be long.
No, about another 15 minutes.
Just worried about that ticket outside.
All right. Hi, come on in. Have a seat. So what happens? The brain is protected by your skull. Great, thanks. The brain is protected by the skull, and your spinal cord, which is the tail end of your brain, is protected by your spinal column. Now, when your body was designed or evolved, however it was done, whoever or whatever did it said, we got to protect this because the brain and nervous system is very susceptible. It's very, very sensitive. So you have these bones, okay, and everyone's got a backbone, I hope. Got a backbone? But you want to take your backpack off?
It doesn't bother me.
Okay, me neither. So what happens? Here's your brain and spinal cord. You have protection of your skull and your spinal column. Coming out between each of these bones is a nerve. These nerves go to every single part of your body. So when I touch Howard's knees here, the reason he feels it goes up the leg, goes into the back, goes up to the brain. The brain says, it's just my hand, no big deal. If he's running on the beach out east rather, and he steps on a piece of glass or he's walking and he steps on it, he's not going to go, oh yeah, I feel it now. Pick his foot up, he'll go like that, and I'll go, geez, that's sharp. And I'll pick his foot up just like that. Or if there's a hot stove here, you go like this. You don't go, something's burning here. You take your fingers off immediately. That's how fast those impulses go back and forth. Well, those impulses not only go to different muscles in your body, but they also go to different organs and glands and systems in your body. So when you had lunch about 3 hours ago or 5 hours ago, whenever it was, and you had a piece of pasta, your stomach said, hey, we got some stringy stuff in here. Let's break it down and do a chemical analysis. The impulses go from the stomach back up to the brain. The brain says, we just did this chemical analysis. You've got proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. What we got to do is we got to mix a little bit of this in, a little bit of that, and a little bit of this enzyme. It sends it back down to the stomach, tells the stomach what to do, and you start digesting. All right? It goes on and on and on. That's the way your liver works. That's the way every single part of your body works. You've got nerves in every single part of your body. And if you don't believe it, tell me where you don't think you have a nerve and we'll put a pin there. And if you don't feel it, you're right. You probably don't have a nerve there. But every single part of your body does have nerves. Now, what happens? Linda, the nerve here is being pinched, which goes to your heart. Give me the name of some symptoms that you might have. What might happen to your heart? Sit on down. Heart murmur? Yeah, sure. Palpitations of your heart, skipping beats, fast heartbeats, heart attack, chest pain. You might have any kind of symptom like that. How about if it was going down to your stomach? If you had a pinched nerve going to your stomach, what symptom might you have? Nausea, upset stomach, you might throw up even. All right? So what happens is these nerves, which go from the brain, down the spinal cord, out the nerves to the different organs and glands, which control everything, are very vulnerable. And they can be interfered with. And when they're interfered with, they call that a subluxation. As a matter of fact, this is a subluxation. You can see the spinal column, just like this. That's what this is. Here's a disc. Everyone knows what a disc is? It's a shock absorber in between each vertebrae. You also have the spinal nerve root, which comes out and attaches to the different organ, different gland, different muscle. It goes back in and goes to the spinal cord. So when everything's working the way it's supposed to, the nerve impulse looks like that. Everything's cool. It slips out of position. It irritates it. It literally irritates and pinches the nerve. That's what a pinched nerve is. You don't know how many patients come in here and they say, I went to my intern, she said it's just a pinched nerve. I said, it's just a pinched nerve. Just a pinched nerve? That's like saying, you just had a heart attack, don't worry about it. You just have cancer. I mean, just a pinched nerve, what happens if that nerve goes to your heart? What do you mean just a pinched nerve? So yeah, it's just a pinched nerve. It's like saying, well, I just had my leg amputated. It's the same thing. I want you to remember this if you don't remember anything tonight. Your body heals itself. You cut your hand, what heals it? A Band-Aid? Bactine? All right, vitamin E? It stimulates it, it helps it. Your body heals itself. Anyone ever break anything here?
Sure.
Mr. Sheps must have broke one bone or two, all right? I've broken a couple of bones. You don't need a cast. The cast just makes sure it grows straight. What happens, it's the bones and the body that heals itself. And the healing comes from the brain down to the rest of the body. Your body always knows what to do. When you have a cold, do you need erythromycin? Only if it's very, very severe. And then chances are, if you don't take anything, it takes 7 days. If you take erythromycin, it takes 9 days. Get it? So what we're doing is we're making sure there's no interference here. And many times, patients at this time, they say, wait, I'm in a chiropractor's office. You're a back doctor. What the heck are you talking about? Angina. What are you talking about? Gallstones. What are you talking about? Ulcers. You're a back doctor. Well, the reason we're talking about these different organs and glands is because of the nerves attached to them. And the central nervous system is located in your spine. And if your central nervous system was located in your knee, I'd be a knee doctor. Or if it was in your foot, I'd be a foot doctor. But it's not. It's in your spine. So we work on your spine. And what we do literally is we take the subluxation, which is the bone out of position, and we literally put it back into position so the body can heal itself. Now there are lots of different techniques to do this, but what we do chiropractically speaking is we don't use any drugs, we don't use any surgery. We take the bone, put it back into position so the body can heal itself. And if you don't remember anything tonight, remember that. The body heals itself. There's a great book here, Leo Galland, MD. People have remarkable ability to heal themselves. Doctors and medication do not cure or prevent any diseases. When a child is given an antibiotic for an infection, you may think it's the antibiotic that cures the infection. It is not. It's the child's immune system, which is under control of the nervous system. The antibiotic just makes it a bit easier. But if the immune system and the nervous system does not do its job, the antibiotic is useless. So what we're doing is we're stimulating your nervous system. What also happens, and this is what scares me more than anything, Surgeon General, this is back in 1988, Surgeon General's most recent report indicates that 2/3 of all illnesses before the age of 65 is preventable. So 2 out of 3 people who died last week, or today, or this morning could have been saved. One more question. We live in a very powerful, wealthy country. Is there not enough medication in this country? I think we're lacking drugs, or we're lacking doctors, or we're lacking hospitals. No. It's the way we approach things. And the way we approach things is very similar to materialism. We believe, or medicine believes, that to get better you take something from the outside and you take it in and it's going to make you feel better. Okay, that's what materialism is about. By buying things and bringing them in, you'll make you a better person, or a nicer person, or happier. All right? Conversely, what we're talking about chiropractic is that health comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. You can't swallow health. It doesn't come in a pill. It doesn't come in a bottle. It comes from the inside out. So what we're trying to do is show you there's different ways to get healthy. And we're talking about health here, not just feeling better. How do you get a subluxation? How does the bone go out of place? Well, one common way, excuse me 1 second, and 95% of us do it, is sitting. Watch what happens to my pelvis right here, my low back. And I cross my legs. See how it pulls it right around? So crossing your legs. That's a great way to get a subluxation. Does anyone talk on the phone ever like this? For about 20 minutes at a time. And then you go, and then you wonder why you have the headache, or your fingers are numb, or why you have allergies. Right? It's all related. Also, in the neck area, we have many patients we start treating, they start losing weight. They say, I don't know what's going on. I've been on a diet for 6 months and I lost a couple of pounds and I'm getting adjusted now and I'm losing weight. What the heck's going on here? You start adjusting the neck, that's where the thyroid is. Now what an adjustment is, by the way, is when you take the bone, which is out of position, you put it back in, the body starts doing its thing again. It starts to do its thing. It's like a car or a machine or a motorcycle. If it's not tuned up, you can have the best hog in the world, the best Harley in the world. If it's not tuned, it's not going to perform the way it was designed to perform. Same thing with your body. You can eat the right foods, you can get the great exercise, but if there's any interference with your nervous system, your body will not perform. And all of a sudden, symptom upon symptom will start coming down. And what happens is one day, I don't know if this happens to anyone here, one day you have a headache, it goes away. The next day you have, a couple of weeks later, you have a cold, it goes away. A couple of weeks later, the cold comes back again, it goes away. You say, I can't get rid of this cold, or this sinus infection, or it won't stay away. Right? That's just as if you came home last night. You turn your stereo on, you turn your TV on, you turn your lights on, you turn the toaster oven on, you say, oh, I gotta get some juice. You go downstairs, come back upstairs, everything's out. Right? How many people would actually go to each light bulb and shake it, and then go to the TV and see if it's plugged in, and then go to the stereo and see if it's plugged in? You go to the circuit box. Isn't that what you would do? I hope you would. Or check your Con Ed bill, see if you paid it. Of course you go to your circuit box. Well, that's what the nervous system is. The nervous system is your fuse box to the body. And so rather than going to get a CAT scan immediately, and going for an NMR immediately, and going for a blood test right away, which most specialists want you to do, because they just focus in right on that one little problem. Your body is not one little area. It's a system. Again, it's like a computer, different compartments working together. Or it's like an orchestra. If you ever listen to an orchestra or a band and one of the musicians is totally out of sync, it throws everything off. Well, that's the way it is with the body. If one system, especially the nervous system, is off, it's going to manifest all different ways. You can have all different systems breaking down. Does that make sense? Okay. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. One last thing. Many times we'll tell patients, you need to come in X amount of times this month. Let's say, great, I agree, I really do need it. I saw my pictures, my back's all messed up. Tell me when to come in, what to do. And we tell them, they say, well, the only problem is I can't afford to come in. The fees are too, I mean, I don't make $1 million a year. Well, our policy here in our office was built upon patients' needs, not our needs. And if there's ever financial problems, you let us know. We will work it out so you can come in. I'm not talking about we'll give you a loan. I promise you we will make it so you can afford to come in. We'll change our fees if need be. Don't worry about that. Our primary concern is that you get the care that you need. On the other hand, don't miss your appointments. Because if Dr. Lawrence, my brother, and myself are bending over backwards to help you, I don't want to hear that you can't come in because you got to get your nails done or something like that. That kind of insults us, right? Or you had a play to go to. Okay? The other thing, we're going to give you all certain exercises for your specific conditions. Please do the exercises. It's imperative. What we do here as far as the adjustments is that much compared to what you do outside of the office, which is this much. So many times patients will say, I don't understand, I'm not getting better. You doing your exercises? Well, yeah, I do it once or twice a month. You know, you're changing your sleeping habits or your sitting habits? Well, once in a while. You know, well, you change your diet yet? Well, you know, I'm not eating, you know, ice cream every night, only 3 or 4 times a week, you know, so forth and so on. So what's going on is that what we need you to do is follow our recommendations. It's very, very important. The last thing, look at this chart if you would, by the way. When we were speaking before about the different organs and glands. Can you get one for it? Okay. What happens is that different parts of your spine, as I told you, protect different nerves which go to different organs and glands. So what happens is that if a nerve in the upper neck is being irritated, you can see how it can cause all different problems, from rapid heartbeat to blood pressure problems to difficulty breathing, fainting, bronchitis, asthma, so forth and so on. Down in the low back can cause anything from prostatitis to hemorrhoids to sexual dysfunction, etc., etc. Good evening. Hi.
I'm looking for Phil Kingsley. I'm completely lost.
Next door. Next building.
Next building.
So the whole nervous system controls all the different organs. The reason we show you this is not to go home to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your family member and say, oh my gosh, over here, you having any numbness, tingling? You know, we don't want you to become diagnosticians. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to see what's going on so you can see on yourself the area. By the way, the top part is where your head is. The bottom part is where your low back is, right, if you're not really sure. These little spaces are the discs. You can see the discs. And if anyone has any questions about that, please ask. Basically, on the other side is a card. And that's from both the other Dr. Lawrence and myself. The reason we give you that card is if you get any results here, if you get better, give it to somebody else and let them know about it. Because the way this grows and the way it changes is by telling somebody else. Unless you saw our full-page ad in the New York Times last Sunday. Did you see that? You missed it? Oh, it was great. No, it's ad in the Times. All right? Share it with somebody. Chiropractic is the largest drugless healing art in the world. That's incredible. We've only been around since 1895. And as a matter of fact, there was an incredible thing which just happened. Not to get too political, but since healthcare is very political, the American Medical Association just lost an antitrust suit against 7 chiropractors in Chicago. And the suit basically said was that they were trying to eliminate the whole chiropractic profession. And when it came out in court, the lawyers said, well, why were you trying to do this? And at first they said, well, we think chiropractors are quacks. And as the court case went on, the very end of the case, it was shown that they did it just for monetary reasons. Chiropractors were taking money away from medical doctors, and they were getting patients better. Chiropractic is the fastest growing healing art because of 2 words. It works. It's simple, it works. Your body heals itself. It always does. It always will. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions, Howard?
No.
You're not going to get a ticket.
I'm worried about getting told.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, go for it. You want to check and come right back
I'm
up?
looking for arms and hands on this thing.
Upper neck area.
If it's almost done,
Upper neck area, head,
Uh-huh.
face, brain, eyes, ears, or thyroid gland, lymph, which
Right
one?
around here, right through here.
Up there.
Yeah, and I'll show you on another chart if you'd like to see it also later. Okay. Basically, that's it.
Do I see?
One last thing, lifting. Something on the floor. Don't go like that. Use your knees. It's a lot easier and painless to have knee surgery than back surgery. It really is. If you have to lift somebody or something, bring them close to you or package, and then lift up like that. Never go like that. Even if it's a toothbrush, just leaning over. It's not the weight of the object you're picking up. It's your trunk going forward. All right? Sitting, when you sit, cross at your ankles. Right, rather than your legs like that. Sleeping, sleep on your back or your side, not on your stomach. If you sleep on your back, have the pillow not here, but underneath your shoulders and your neck. Or if you're on your side, have it between your head and the bed, not between your shoulder and the bed. Okay? Phone. If you're on the phone for more than 3 hours a day, spend $100 and get one of those headsets. Otherwise, we'll see you in here once a week. You get to buy me a Mercedes. Another Mercedes. Okay? I don't want another Mercedes. So use the phone correctly. If you have questions at any time, ask me. Anytime, anything. Or ask the other Dr. Lawrence. Basically, that's it. Any questions about anything? No? I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And thanks for taking the time out of your schedule. Be well. No questions? That's it. Come on. You
Well, I
want
thought
to
you were
sit
going to
down?
show us things that we needed partners for
You do.
and stuff.
You do. I want everyone to stand up.
Okay.
2, 4, 6.